Once upon a time, there lived a very rich man named Maximilian. His wife had died many years ago. He had two beautiful daughters, Grace and Emma. Grace was gentle and kind, but Emma, the younger one, was wiser and more thoughtful. Maximilian loved both his daughters deeply. He gave them everything they needed and never let them feel the loss of their mother. In the same town, there lived a widow with one daughter. That widow had a strange habit. She would go from house to house, always asking for something. Whenever Maximilian's daughters started cooking for their father, she would come asking for flour. But Emma never liked her. She would whisper to her sister, "Grace, this woman isn't good. One day she'll bring us trouble." Grace would smile softly and say, "Oh, Emma, she's poor and lonely. Let her take the flour. We lose nothing." Whenever the girls cooked food for their father, that widow secretly slipped in and mixed salt into Maximilian's meal. The food always tasted bad. Maximilian thought sadly, "My little girls must be making mistakes while cooking." Then one day, Maximilian thought to himself, "Let me see what my daughters are suddenly adding to my food that makes it taste so bad." He saw Grace washing the rice carefully. Emma was preparing the curry. Everything was clean and perfect. But then he saw the widow come to borrow flour. While no one was looking, she threw salt into the food. Maximilian was furious. He called her and shouted, "How dare you spoil my food?" The widow acted innocent. She touched his chest gently and said, "Oh, Maximilian, I was only testing you to see whether you would scold your daughters if the food turned bad. But you have proved that you truly love your daughters very much. Now I see you truly care for them. From now on, nothing like this will ever happen again." Maximilian, fooled by her beauty and soft words, forgave her. Soon, Maximilian was convinced by her words. He married the widow without asking Grace and Emma. After the wedding, everything changed. The stepmother began to hate the two sisters. She wanted Maximilian's daughters to somehow leave the house. To drive them out, she began making all sorts of plans. She thought, if Maximilian's daughters were gone, she and her own daughter could live a life of comfort and luxury. Then, all of Maximilian's attention would turn toward her and her daughter, and she would rule over the entire household. She made them work all day, gave them little food, and treated them like servants. Her own daughter wore fine clothes and did nothing. One day, Grace was sitting and crying when Emma came to her, comforted her, and said softly, "Come on, Grace, let's go out somewhere. It will help you refresh your mind." Both sisters left the house and, walking together, reached the forest. The place was very beautiful. Cool shade, the gentle flow of a cold stream, and flowers blooming everywhere. They sat beneath the large leafy tree and began to cry as they remembered their mother. Just then, a holy man passed by. He stopped and said, "My daughters, why are you crying?" Emma told him everything. The holy man said kindly, "Do not cry. Near my hut there is a pomegranate tree. Go and eat as many pomegranates as you wish." The girls went there and saw a beautiful pomegranate tree full of red fruits. They picked a few and ate until they were full. Then they thanked the holy man and returned home. From that day on, whenever their stepmother refused to feed them, they went to the tree and ate the pomegranates. The stepmother soon noticed something strange. They look healthy and even more beautiful every day. How can that be, when I give them nothing to eat? Still, they are so beautiful and never fall sick, while my own daughter whom I feed such good food, looks dull beside them." The next day, when Emma and Grace went out to the forest, she sent her daughter to follow them. The girl saw everything: the tree, the fruit, the eating. Emma and Grace's stepsister went and told her mother everything, that the two sisters never stayed hungry, but went to the forest and picked pomegranates from a tree near a small hut, and no one stopped them. Hearing this, their stepmother became very angry. When Maximilian came home in the evening, he saw his wife looking worried and asked the reason for her distress. She replied, "I have a terrible headache, and it won't be cured with medicine." Maximilian asked, "Then how will it be cured?" "The only cure is to cut the pomegranate tree from its roots. Boil the roots and put the paste on my head. Then I will be fine." Maximilian, worried for her, sent men to destroy the tree. They dug it up and burned the roots. The next day, when Grace and Emma came to eat, the tree was gone. They sat down and cried bitterly. The holy man appeared and said gently, "Don't cry, my daughters. God will give you something even better." He pointed to the ground, and suddenly a small stream of milk began to flow. He gave them a clay cup and said, "Drink as much as you want." The sisters thanked him and drank the milk. From that day on, they went there daily to drink and stay healthy. But the stepmother was still suspicious. She again sent her daughter to follow them. The girl saw the stream of milk and told her mother. The stepmother became angry. That night, she paid some men to fill the stream with dirt and burn the holy man's hut. The next day, Grace and Emma found nothing: no hut, no stream, no milk. They sat and cried until sunset and then went home, empty and hungry. A few days later, the wicked stepmother pretended to be sick again. When Maximilian came, she said, "My illness can only be cured if you rub your daughter's blood on my hands and feet." Maximilian froze in horror. He loved his daughters more than his life. He could never harm them, so one night he took them into the deep forest. He cooked food, fed them, waited until they slept under a tree, and left. On the way back, he hunted a deer and took its blood home. The stepmother used the deer's blood and smiled wickedly, believing she had won. When the sisters woke up and found their father gone, they cried for hours. They were lost and afraid. That very morning, two friends came to hunt. One was named Jack and the other Ryan. Jack said, "Someone is in trouble here. I can hear the sound of someone crying. Let's help." They followed the sound and found the two girls crying under a tree. Both friends asked the two sisters the reason for their tears, and Grace told Jack their entire story. Jack and his friend Ryan felt sorry for them. They said, "We will marry you and give you a home." Jack married Grace, and Ryan married Emma. For a time, both sisters lived peacefully. A year later, Emma gave birth to a baby boy. Their homes were full of happiness. But one day, Ryan went hunting in the forest and never returned. Days passed. Grace's husband went to look for him, and he too disappeared. Emma was heartbroken. She waited and waited. Then one evening, someone knocked at her door. A man wearing green clothes stood there, a fake holy man, actually a sorcerer. He said, "I am hungry. Please give me food." Emma replied, "My husband isn't home. Please come later." He insisted, "Please, daughter, feed me. God will bless you." Emma finally agreed and brought him food. But as she served him, the man stared at her with dark, evil eyes. He whispered, "You are beautiful. Leave your child and marry me." Emma stepped back in shock. "How dare you? I am married." The sorcerer grew angry. With one spell, He turned Emma into a deer and dragged her away by a rope. When Grace returned home, Emma's baby was crying loudly. She picked up her nephew and began searching the whole house for Emma, but she couldn't find her anywhere. 14 long years. Emma's son grew up, raised lovingly by Grace. His name was Adam. When he turned 14, Grace told him the truth about his parents. Adam said firmly, "I will find them, no matter what." Adam packed his things and went toward the mountain forests. Days and nights passed. He kept walking and at last reached a forest where there were several stone figures and a holy man sitting quietly. The same holy man who had once helped Adam's mother. The holy man asked, "Why have you come here? This place belongs to a cruel sorcerer. Whoever enters this land is turned into stone or a tree. Do you see these stones? Years ago, a young man came here, and the sorcerer turned him into stone. Then another young man followed, and he too was turned into stone. The sorcerer has imprisoned a noble young woman for 12 years. He wants to marry her, but she refuses to do so." When Adam heard the holy man's words, he said, "Those two young men turned to stone must be my father and uncle, and that noble young woman must be my mother." He told the old man everything. The old man said, "Be brave. God helps the pure-hearted." The holy man said to Adam, "I will surely help you. Perhaps because of you, others may also be freed from the sorcerer's captivity." He then told the villagers, "This is my grandson who has come from the city." When the sorcerer heard about Adam, he came to meet him. From that day on, Adam began meeting the sorcerer, carefully hiding his true identity. One day, the sorcerer said, "You are wise and good and innocent, just like your grandfather. Tomorrow, you must do something for me. I will send you to a hut, and there you will deliver my message to a girl. Tell her that I wish to marry her." Adam immediately understood that the girl was his mother, and his heart filled with joy. The next day, the boy entered the room. For a moment, Emma was alone. He placed the flowers at her feet. A soft sound. Cling. Emma looked down, saw the ring, the one that was on Adam's finger, and gasped. It was Ryan's ring, the one she had once given to her son. Their eyes met. Mother and son recognized each other. Adam told Emma everything and asked her to stand by his side. Emma pretended to agree to marry the sorcerer. She asked him, "Tell me your secret power." The sorcerer laughed proudly. "My life is hidden in a parrot, locked in a cage under a great tree in the deep forest." Emma told her son the secret and begged him not to go. But the boy said, "Mother, I will save you." He sneaked into the forest, found the parrot's cage, and took it carefully. When the sorcerer saw the bird, he fell to his knees. "Please, give it back. I'll do anything." The boy said firmly, "Free all the prisoners first." The sorcerer obeyed. Then the boy pulled the parrot's feathers. The sorcerer grew weak. Finally, he snapped the parrot's neck, and the sorcerer died. The spell broke. Ryan, Jack, and all the missing men turned back to life. Everyone thanked the holy man and Adam and returned home. When Maximilian saw his daughters alive, he burst into tears. He begged for forgiveness. He told them the stepmother had tricked him. Grace and Emma forgave him. The evil stepmother had already fallen sick and died. At last, peace returned to their home, and from that day on, Grace, Emma, Ryan, Jack, Adam, and Maximilian lived happily ever after. If you enjoy this story, please like my video and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more new videos. Thank you for your support.